The Iliad by Homer. Book 14. Hera outflanked Zeus. But the mounting cries of war could not escape old Nestor. Pausing over his wine, he turned to Asclepius' son with an urgent, winged word. Think, noble Machaon, what shall we do now? The cries are fiercer, fighters beside the ships. You sit here, keep drinking the shining wine now, till well-kempt Hecamede draws you a warm bath, steaming hot, and washes away that clotted blood. But I am off to a lookout point to learn the truth. With that he seized the well-wrought shield of his son, Thrasymedes, breaker of horses. It lay in a corner, all glowing bronze, while the boy used his father's. Gripping a sturdy spear, bronze-edged and sharp, he no sooner left his tent than stopped at once. What a grim, degrading piece of work he saw. Friends routed, enemies harrying friends in panic, the Trojans riding high, the Argive wall in ruins. Nestor stood there, stunned, as a huge groundswell boils up on the open seas, soundless, foreboding a hurricane's howling onslaught, rearing but never rolling back or forth, all adrift till one steady, decisive blast comes down from Zeus. So the old man thrashed things out, torn two ways, to join his Argives fast with chariot teams, or go and find Agamemnon, lord of armies. His mind in turmoil, this way seemed the best. He'd head for Atreus' son, but other soldiers kept on flailing, cutting each other to pieces, the tough bronze casing their bodies clanging out, fighters stabbing with swords, flinging two-edged spears. And now the royal kings fell in with Nestor. Back they came, trailing along the shipways, all who had taken wounds from the sharp bronze, Diomedes, Odysseus, and Atreus' son Agamemnon. Their ships were drawn up far away from the fighting, moored in a group along the grey churning surf. First ships ashore they'd haul up on the plain, then built a defence to landward off their sterns. Not even the stretch of beach, broad as it was, could offer berths to all that massed armada. Troops were crammed in a narrow strip of coast. So they had hauled their vessels inland, row on row, while the whole shoreline filled in the bay's gaping mouth, enclosed by the jaws of the two jutting headlands. Now up they came from a better view of the battle, a slow file of kings, leaning on their spears, hearts in their chests weighed down with anguish. And the sight of the old horseman coming toward them struck them all with a sharper sense of dread. The king of men, Agamemnon, hailed him quickly. Nestor, son of Neleus, great pride of Achaea, why turn your back on the lines where men are dying? Why come back here to shore? I'm filled with fear that breakneck Hector will bring his word to pass. The threat he hurled against me once in a Trojan muster, that he would never leave our ships and return to Troy till he torched our hulls and slaughtered all our men. That was the prince's threat. And now, look, by God, it all comes to pass. How shameful! And now the rest of our men-at-arms must harbor anger against me deep inside their hearts, just like Achilles, and they have no stomach left to fight to the end against the warship's sterns. The noble old horseman could only bear him out. True, too true. A disaster's right upon us. Not even thundering Zeus himself could turn the tide. The ramparts down, there, the great wall we trusted, our impregnable shield for the ships and men themselves. The enemy storms down on the rolling hulls, non-stop, desperate, life or death. Hard as you scan the lines, there's no more telling from which side we're harried. Carnage left and right, Death cries hit the skies. Put heads together, what shall we do now? If strategy's any use, struggle's clearly not. The last thing I'd urge is to throw ourselves into battle. How on earth can a wounded man make war?